what I can do with it.
All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
So you got battery disconnect?
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the shop. Today we're working on Billy's Nova. It's back in after getting some upgrades and changes, and it definitely needs some help. You can feel just pushing it that it's got a lot of rolling resistance, and the facts are in the numbers. It's got about 2 degrees of toe in, some uneven camber, and the back end looks a little bit off. Almost a ½ degree thrust, so let's see what we can do to straighten this thing up. A 1.5 degree cross camber, almost 2 degrees cross caster, which we want those to be as even as we can make them. And obviously the toe's all out of whack. Back end's kind of out of square, so we'll see what we can do with that. He said it's not tracking weird, so we'll probably kind of play with it and see what we can do. Let's get it set up. Looking good though. It's looking good. A lot of work's gone into this girl. Got his tampon string hanging out of it. I like it. Let's figure out what we got to make to make it work. Yeah, I'd like to see this K-member tied together for rigidity, because you are going to have flexing in this point. Even though it's tied together here, you still have to tie these points together because you can get some flex in those, but the longer TRZ arms, this has got both positions, so it's got the rear position and the forward position. Got to clearance the subframe a little better for travel. He's got it up pretty far. I think we're going to try and go, well, the more negative we go on camber, the less down travel we'll have, because we're limited from the upper arm contacting the coil. And we're tighter on this one than that one. So the coil, this coilover is mounted farther out on this side, probably to clear that header tube. I can't overcome that. Oh, need to put a cotter pin in there for him. He mentioned that. He was correct. That's going to be a drive shaft failure. We need to do something about that. Probably lower the rear axle in the chassis. What's it doing to cause that? But that's already compromised. A hard hit, that's going to shear. This really shouldn't move that much, but it clearly is. And it's clearly hitting probably right there. Let's grab a mirror and see where the witness is. Oh yes. It's definitely contacting our cross member right there. I'd probably just cut it out. Clearance it. It must be hitting on D-cell, which is weird. You wouldn't think it would move that much. Or maybe something happened that I don't know about, but typically, because like I can feel a dent, which means it's hitting it pretty hard, and you can see it's actually got heat spots in it, so it's definitely spinning when when those are making contact. Maybe put camera under here and see if it's probably doing it on D-cell. Either that or something else is coming loose. So we gotta figure out what it is. We are solid mount. Well, ouch, that hurt. That was dumb. I would say the transmission's flexing down because that looks weak and chintzy. It's also weird that it's blowing all the paint off. Maybe it's flexing, I don't know. But I'm not seeing marks on this guy, so it's not flexing much. If it is. I mean, I would think it would be plenty solid, but maybe not. Now, let's play with this front suspension and see if we can make it better. And we'll go from there. The drive shaft's an interesting problem to find a solution for. Oh, let's measure our rod ends and see what kind of lengths we have. And go from there. Tie rod end's about 1/8 inch shorter than the other. Even those up. See the shaft has an indent into it, so it's already, the shaft's already compromised. A hard hit, it's going to shear right there. Yeah. But if you look at the bar on the top there, you'll see hot spots. So it's obviously rotating and hitting and making contact. And I'm not sure that it's the travel from the rear axle. I'm more concerned about this arm on this small support. I'm worried about the load transferring into the transmission and it dropping. I think that's what it is. Because the rear end's pretty rigidly, you know, together, and it's not like this thing squats. And even so, squatting, well, squatting, it's going to go up. It would have to, the body would have to lift for that to hit, and it's definitely rotating because of the hot spots. So it's not something that's happened from them just rotating the shaft while it's on the lift. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I mean, you can see the indent. You can certainly feel it. So that's the biggest concern I have. The rear thrust angle's out like almost a half degree, but he says it's running straight. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I can square it up.
I mean, they didn't really do much of any testing with this thing as it sits. I would probably
just square it up and see what.
Let him make those.
Let him make those adjustments once after it's squared.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. That's fine.
I'll mention that to him.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's going to launch it. It's just going to snap the shaft right at that point. So,
give me a light on that real quick. I'm going to send a picture to him real quick.
Yeah.
Got it. Modern technology. Mr. Customer, here's what's going on with your vehicle.
Yeah. I think this is a leverage point, and I think this is flexing. I mean, I'm not seeing contact here, but there's more room here than there is here.
Is this the only mount?
That's the only mount, and it's in a place where that much leverage, like it really should be tied in from here straight across over to here.
I agree.
I mean, you could 3-point it even if you wanted to. It would certainly make it rigid, but I don't think this is enough to do what he needs. Not at the levels he's going to be leaving the pad at. Did this have the TRZ stuff on it the last time I was working on it? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen this car. He said it's all new stuff,
he
so...
has all brand new stuff on. I think he just replaced everything because of the wall tap.
Yeah. Well, he's got this coil is closer to the A-arm on this side than on that side, and it's probably the way they built the coilover mounts because of header clearance. So, and he's got plenty of both. I mean, he's got room to go. He could make those mounts so that they're under where the header is, which would allow him to get the coils farther in, and that would give him more down travel, because his limit to down travel is the arm hitting the coil spring, the coils. I don't really want to remove the support strut, but moving the upper mount of the coil inward would give him a lot more down travel, which is always good. So we also have a contact there. You can see the rod end is contacting the frame. And that's not good, because once this bends, it's going to change your toe. Doesn't look like this one's hitting, but it certainly could. I put 2 turns into both of these arms on this side, on the driver's side, and that got my thrust angle right where I want it to be. Got a little bit of toe in on each side. I'll lock these bars down. This guy's in a good place. We'll lock him back down. And we're done in the back. I'm going to focus on the front. I haven't quite decided how I want to get my camber in the front yet. I may just put some shims in it so we can see how it works. It'll work for short term. See how it is, and if we want to make changes to it, we can. Let's thrust lines at 0.00 now, so that's good. That will work. 0. So now let's play with our front end. So made a little improvement on my caster. Go farther with it, or reduce my caster on the passenger side. And I'd like to see how much caster we can get, because all the caster we can get for this scenario is good. The camber's closer, still not where it needs to be. Positive. So I'll take rear arm in another 2 turns. See where that puts us. Alright, so I'll have to resweep caster, because you always have to resweep caster when you make a caster adjustment for an accurate reading. My camber is pretty close, within 3/10. My caster's still off quite a bit. I'm going to take some caster out of that side. And I might as well square up my toe arm here. That, our camber's good, our caster's off. Goes out on lift. 1/2 degree. Positive, but it's already at the top. I'd rather it be positive. We're lifting. So, let's throw a little shim in that. I'm glad I went the wrong way. I did. Now I'm towing out 3 degrees on lift. I need more shift. We'll go back the way we came. Plus, I don't think I have any of those that size shim. Yes, this is a very tedious process. And every car is different. Oh, wrong way. Out a degree and then it toes back in a degree, which a degree really isn't that much. Knock the lift off. That's lift. We've got less than 2 degrees toe in. That's pretty good. It'll increase in stability the taller it gets. It's probably only going to ride about half that height. Unless he's, driving down on back wheels, then they'll do that. Tie rod ends are within 1/8 of an inch. Keep dropping this one down, get it close to 9. So I'm going to take another turn out of the front, which should get me pretty close. Probably get me to 0 and 9-ish. Should be pretty close to where I want to be. See my rear toes looking pretty good. Rear thrust angle is still really strong even after recomping it several times, so we're looking pretty good. So I'll tweak my toe. Makes sense that I only need to adjust that one because that's the side I was adjusting. And I think that's going to be a winner. We'll let them try it out. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Let's comp it one more time, just for giggles. Pretty reasonable. Camber's dead on, caster's dead on, toe's pretty close. Is it just me, or is the driver's side steering arm twisted? If you look at this surface compared to the rest of it, it looks pretty parallel. If you look at this one, I guess it looks about the same, but it doesn't. I think the steering arm's bent. It's weird. Maybe it's an optical illusion, but it's like it's twisted. So what I'm seeing is on lift, this one goes way out, and this one stays pretty much true. So I'm trying to wrap my head around what's causing that. Sweeps out, but this one sweeps out and sweeps back in, so it's kind of a weird scenario. And I'm only talking about a couple of degrees, which is minuscule. But I'm curious as to what's causing that over and back. I'm going to throw a little more shim into it and see if it changes it, but I don't know. Is it me? Is it just my eyesight, or does that steering arm look like it's twisted? Looks like it's twisted to me, but I'm not sure that would cause this. But it would create an irregularity in the tie rod ends, because it would need this one to be longer than the other. It's minor stuff, splitting hairs. I'm looking that side first, which is part of the problem. Remember having radical toe issues with this suspension system before. I think it's just the double long arm, short arm system. that. It's looking pretty good. I think we've got it where it needs to be. I think we can release it out into the wild. Go play. Well, that's a wrap on Billy's SRC Nova. Little chassis setup for you. The long arm, short arm, upper control arm, lower control arm setup on these GMs has a dynamic to it that when you get into your taller lift range, the lower control arm comes in and drops in, which pushes your toe out. We overcome as much of that as we can with the bump steer kit, but it's not something that can be completely overcome. We just make it the best that we can. The Fox body suspensions, because they're just a full droop, and the racks set up in line with the lower control arms, they're a lot. I can get those fine-tuned to like negligible toe change, where these have some toe change. It's still under 4 degrees. You're talking about 4 degrees of toe. It's not a lot, but it's a lot better setup than it was. We had a 1.5 degree caster, cross caster. We had funky camber. The toe was towed in really hard, which you could tell because you couldn't push the thing. It was really hard to push it around. Now it pushes real nice and easy. We found some other minor issues that needed addressed. I did adjust the front core support so it won't damage his fuel line. We discussed the damage to his drive shaft from contact. He said he actually had an item moving around before, and he thinks that's been addressed, but they will keep an eye on it. A big part of what I do is just looking the car over and seeing things that need addressed. Sometimes a different pair of eyes will catch something like, hey, what about that? And you talk with the customer and you figure out, okay, they've already known about that solution, or, oh, I didn't know that was there. We'll figure out what that is being caused by, and we'll find a solution. At any rate, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. You guys have a safe day out there, and I'm excited to see this thing go do some work. So let's wish Billy the best of luck and see what he can do with it. It's an amazing build, and he's spent a lot of time and a lot more time working on this thing to get it to where it's at. I'm excited to see it come to life. Have a great day, guys. See you on the next one.